So in today's session, we're going to be looking at the business of Boudoir, and this is following on from our sales room tour and everything else with it and things. Remember, if you're interested in the Xperience group, we've got time to answer any questions at the end of this session. I've also got a special offer for you on my Boudoir training USB and things really. So again, if you're interested in that, hang on towards the end and we'll kind of whip over to it. So what are we going to do? We're looking at generating more profits for your photography business by increasing the client spend. Well, in the past few months, including the tour, we've been talking about maximizing sales, setting up the sales room itself, making sure that our post-session pre-sale is absolutely nailed right to make sure that the value chain all kind of fits and works together and things. So if you haven't had a chance to actually kind of watch or take part in some of the others, then you can go onto the Academy and basically actually relive those sessions anyway. But today it's all about Boudoir. And I suppose the first thing is one of my sayings, which is basically think bigger about you and who you are. I mean, that's the key thing I would say to all photographers. It doesn't matter if you're a part-time photographer, a full-time photographer. It's all about hitting the number. Okay, in business, it's about my business is based on X amount of sessions per week, based on an average of X sales, will give me the turnover and income that I have planned within the business. So it's no different if I was a baker. It would all be based around how many loaves of bread, how many cakes, how many of this, how many of that, and so on I need to make or sell during the course of the week to be able to actually sustain the business and put the profit in my pocket that I really want to do. Okay, so there's nothing wrong in thinking big. So in the word of the baker for a minute, you might be an independent just with a little shop selling a couple of hundred loaves, every other couple of days, whatever it would be, and this and that, but you want to be Greggs, all right? There's nothing wrong. If you're based in the UK, you know what I'm on about by Greggs. If you're outside the UK, you probably haven't got a clue who I'm on about. But it's all about thinking bigger. So the first thing is always try and bring new things into the business each year in some way. It could be a product, it could be a service, it could be the way that you sell or present your product, whatever it is, but you always need to actually bring something else in. So today we're talking Boudoir, but you could pretty much twist this around to anything specific, any topic specific that you want to. So a couple of questions that we've been posed from photographers kind of over the past few weeks have been session fees and why. Okay, so the reason to have a session fee for boudoir photography would because probably there's going to be a makeup artist involved in some way. And obviously if you're not able to do that service yourself, i.e. the cost is going to be passed on either to you or to the client. So that's why it's essential for the session fee to be there. So for instance, you might be being charged, £35 per head for the boudoir makeover and hair. So you need to make sure that you're covering that cost, especially if you're doing offers based for the business and so on. And in fact, on the marketing DVD that I made, USB I should say nowadays, last year, I talk about how quick it was for me to basically generate 100 sessions in boudoir online on a Friday afternoon, just by pure luck, but using a business contact that I knew who was dealing with primarily women. So we were able to actually put things into operation within pretty much 24 hours to actually start to actually generate work coming through the door within 7 days. So the session fee is really there to cover costs. That's the key thing. However, if you've heard me talk on family portraiture and promotions, you know that I've never allowed a session fee to stand in the way. So if I was starting up a boudoir business tomorrow, I need to make sure that basically I'm going to minimize my costs, but I'm also going to show off how all the other clients are going to experience boudoir. We did 2 specific shoots last year, getting ready for the boudoir tour, where we had a fuller figure woman, and we basically had a, oh, sorry, Jay's just coming in with a message. Thanks, Jay. And basically, I forget where I was now. What were we on about? Oh yeah, so we had 2 women come in, basically a 18 to 30-year-old she wouldn't be my prime candidate as a boudoir kind of business. However, if I was going to be a 3-4 sessions a day boudoir business, I would have to include that age group, I should say, as a part of my kind of main group, because they're the ones who are going to actually take time off work. But I know their spending power is probably going to be less. We'll talk about products later on, predominantly to do with the client. As far as boudoir is concerned, we're going to be looking specifically at prints in a box. This is one of the 3XM solution kind of products here and things really. This one includes the USB at the top. These have just got six by 4 prints. I've got a slide of it later on. I'm showing on webcam now, so I do apologize if you can't see what I'm seeing. But that's the kind of the product. We're also looking at a USB only, but we're also going to be talking about boudoir in a box, yeah? And in fact, Jay, can you do me a favour? I've just realised that Simon was here an hour ago, and he's moved my box from here. Can you bring in my boudoir?
Now, mate. Yeah,
Boudoir in a box, please. Thanks. So as far as the session fees are concerned, if you're having to show off and charge a session fee, in other words, and what I mean by showing off, if you're having to really put a stamp on your business going, okay, I am not going to be a free session, that's my family portrait business that's based around. But for the boudoir business itself, I'm going to charge a session fee of 95 quid. I'm allowing myself to discount it down at any stage to say 65 or 55, but that's going to cover my cost of the makeover artist. Do I need to include a product in it? Hopefully not. Do I want to include a product straight off like the little 3XM product I was on about you here? Do I want to include that? Well, I can't include that as a entry-level reason to come in on an offer, but what I can do is make sure, thanks Jay, you can just pop in there for now, I'll grab it in a minute. I can't include this because of the cost involved. Yeah, so it's always about trying to just cover costs initially, and the last thing you want to be doing is giving something away that has such a high value that you really can't kind of upsell from it. And we see that all the time on the likes of Groupon and Voucher and everything else with it. You've got to watch exactly what you're giving away. You've got to cover the cost. So the quick answer to that is yes, you should charge a session fee where possible, especially if you're a niche business or you've got fundamental costs you can't get rid of. Should boudoir be on my website or should I have a separate site of it? Well, funny enough, I've got one person on the Xperience group who came in specifically as an equine and dog photographer, and she won a day with me, and with those days, every now and again we raise some money for charity, yeah, within the group, and I say, right, it's a tenner in the pot. Somebody's going to win a whole day worth 1,500 quid with me, blah blah blah, and it's costing you a tenner, and it'll all go into the charity and blah blah blah. Anyway, but she won it, and I said, okay, so what are we doing now? I'm dreading it at this stage that Nicola's going to say, yeah, I want to shoot equine on the beach with sisters, blah blah blah, because they can make it up as they go along with it. But no, she went, no, I'd actually like to do another day on boudoir if that's okay, because within our training with Xperience, I take you through all different genres, even though you have a speciality, and because we learn different techniques and different things, and we can always cross over each other. She said, I absolutely loved it, and I'm thinking, am I going to be a boudoir photographer during the winter months because I'm fed up of getting wet and cold? So it's so funny. So okay, as a dog and equine photographer, you can't put boudoir on the same site, in my opinion. You've got to actually brand it as a different one. If you're a general photographer, so you're doing promotions and families and so on, yes, I believe that the boudoir can exist without any trouble at all on the existing website itself. Okay, so you don't have to think too much. Jay, next week we've got a webinar, isn't it, for Smug Mug as well? I think I'm doing, and we're talking about the portfolio. We're talking about building the page, and I'm going to build the whole brand of boudoir around it. We're going to show you how to show the products online. We're going to show you how to put video of the products online. Lots of little things. Okay, so if you get a chance, come online with me next week, I think it is. So Generate Boudoir off your main website if you feel it's going to affect. What I will say though is that you shouldn't be afraid of showing good quality, classy, any type of photography. It could be nude, it could be glamorous, it could be boudoir, it could be anything, a makeover. You shouldn't be afraid as long as you look at quality, 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 and taste being the specific, you'll never have a problem with it, and you don't have to worry about taking it off your main site at all. Okay, so what poses and how many pictures? Well, what I've done is basically I've given you some of the images here. Just have a quick look at. Fingers crossed they're showing up on your screen as we're going through. But basically, I reckon that we need to shoot 48 approximately different shots so that the client is given the maximum amount of images to view and show. Now, like all genres of photography, there's a difference in the way that you shoot and you style and so on. And obviously, if it's a fuller woman, it's going to be a different style to if she's a beautiful young 21-year-old. I'm going to have different problems with a 21-year-old than I will with a 55-year-old. The 21-year-old is going to be more subconscious than ever before. In the viewing room, she's going to really be picky and actually kind of look at every little thing that is wrong with her. All right, and even though we've done our best to alleviate all those problems within the shooting stage with lighting and then post-production fixes, she's going to be very, very picky. In fact, the older woman is going to be a slightly an easier woman to kind of once we relax them down and once we shoot the right variety for an older woman. So what you're seeing here is my 18 to 30 stylization. Okay, on the USB that I was on about you before, it includes a 50+ woman as well, and you'll see the different variety for her. And it's like all genres of photography. You absolutely need to make sure you understand the subject in front of you and what you need to do for them. And by doing that, this is our Kelsey, our go-to girl, a local model that we kind of bring in when we need for workshops. The first shoot she ever did for us was just a quickie film that we made for Ellen Crom. On lighting out on location as well as in studio, but then we asked her if she'd ever done any boudoir photography, and she hadn't. No lingerie work at all. She's mainly a hair model, and basically she said, "Yeah, I'll do it though." And she came in, and basically I think last year we shot her about 20 odd times and things really. But this is one of the first shoots with her, so you get a good idea on the flow and so on. So as far as the variety, that's the key thing. It's not about the number of photographs you take, but it's the variety that you show to the client. Let me just whip over here for a minute. So Jay just brought in my boudoir in the box, as I call it, and this is one of the amazing 3XM. This is a part. So this is the 1411 USB mount box here. There's so many different products in the gallery, and we have so many photographers coming here, of course, so we actually put a little label on there so actually we know what it is and things really. So as far as that is concerned, the USB's up here at the top, as you can see, and then we've got up to 20 images that go into here. So
some of the images were still on the wall, mate. I've just put a selection in there for you.
Oh, thanks, bud. We've actually got a reveal wall up along our one section of the studio now and things really. So here, though, as I said, it depends on how many you want to actually put in and include and things really. But this is a simple mount. Yeah, beautiful in its finish. So we've got an angled white line here, kind of a separation line. Obviously, I have to get the prints done. I get those done at Loxley's, and then we just slip them quickly into the actual mount itself. So really easy to do. And of course, if you're not branding the top with the client's name, everything that we do is always branded with our names. It means that you've got them in stock on your shelf. And it means that if you are doing a reveal wall, basically the client's going to walk away with their product on that night itself and things really. So when we start to talk about products and pricing in a minute, we have to make sure that we're absolutely understanding what the client actually wants to buy or what they're going to buy, because they're not going to buy massive images for the wall that we've been talking about over the past few months. Marketing boudoir in my area. Well, the first thing I would do is try and get in touch with any lingerie companies. That goes without saying. Any special groups like WI, even they have the younger kind of groups. Can you go and do a talk for them? I also have a client who's a friend who basically runs an adult shop, as they say, for clothing. And basically, it was through an email that I sent to Faith last year that we were able to put in place pretty much straight away the simple voucher and the kind of the competition to run with her. And we could have actually had 100 sessions booked within the first month of launch of a business. And that's how proactive it is. And people who join me in the Xperience group, they're all at different levels. Some might be just beginning their business off. Some might be already in business as such, and they're looking to develop it to another level. Some might have their business already, but they're in dire need of absolutely a transformation now. Okay, so in other words, they haven't got enough clients coming through the door. The clients that they do have coming through the door are not spending any money. And so we absolutely make sure that we help you generate as much as you want, as soon as you want. And we can pretty much flood a business within 30 days, kind of guarantee within things. So again, we can talk about that a little bit at the end if you want. So as far as the marketing the boudoir in my area is concerned, you need to actually start and get it up and running straight away, and you need to use friends. I think the Facebook still works. It is beginning to cost quite a lot more money than it used to. Instagram is working well as well. We're lucky for this year. Jenny, in fact, from 3XM Solutions, she's coming over to our Xperience group again, and she's doing a presentation on Instagram. So during the course of the year, we have our meetings together, and again, we usually have the different companies that are involved with Xperience, because you get great discounts from us the whole time during the year to actually be using the companies anyway, but they're the companies that we believe in. So, when I start to talk about a product like, this little kind of box of prints and things really with a USB, I'm absolutely sure that you could actually source yourself a much cheaper product. But it's not about cost, okay? It's about how much more we can charge our client, because an extra tenner, an extra 15 quid in cost here is not seen by the client. They see it with their hands, smell and taste, okay? They touch it, they look at it, they smell it, they need to feel the weight of it. That's what really the client is buying in to. And something shoddy, even a shoddy price list and a cheap kind of a product can put a client off. When you're saying, well, I'm selling this for £4.50, that's £450, not £4.50, of course. £450. It needs to feel like it, because if it doesn't feel like it, of course, it's never going to actually be able to sell enough. It doesn't matter if you're selling one a month or every other month. What we look at is products that they're selling every single time. So we need our go-to products, and those are the ones that we want to be selling. And in boudoir photography specifically, 3XM wins most of the time because of its quality of products, its pricing range, and its variety, and it's kind of all in a bag kind of solution for us and things really. Marketing boudoir in my area, I think that pretty much tackles that. As far as the retouching is concerned, yes, every image in boudoir, I believe, should be retouched or resized through the liquify tool in some way. As far as the pricing is concerned, of course, that's really down to lots of little elements and things really. And we've talked about maximizing the sales room. So if we look at the price list in front of us here to begin with, okay, and this is a dummy price list that we put together as far as design. It's on the USB if you're interested in that at all. Have you put a link out there for that yet, Jay?
I have indeed, yeah.
Yeah, in case you haven't got a clue what I'm on about, it's my Black Friday offer, so you may as well have of it now, even though we're a month away, yeah? So it's usually 109 quid if we send it out to you in the post, but we're doing it at £69. So it's the download offer that we're doing, okay? So if you do it within the next 24 hours, we're basically actually giving you the £69 cost, and we're physically posting you out the USB to you as well. So it's a great saving, and that is our Black Friday offer. It's not as cheap as that. It has a special price on here. I think it's going to be running at 89 quid. Again, you're going to save a little bit more money and things really. So if you haven't done so already, you can kind of find out all the content what's on there, but it's absolutely incredible. But it does include this mock-up of a price list design as well. So when we've been talking about products for sale in the past, I would say that try and avoid anything that is above a 12-inch in a frame as standard of what you think a client is going to sell buy for boudoir. Yes, we could have a 16-inch and a 20-inch and even a 24-inch actually on the price list if we need be, but the key thing is to make sure it's the right product for the client. We've talked in the past about, how you choose the right mold, the moldings and design to make sure they're desirable for that client. But, the British woman, by design, a 10x8 image for her is a perfect size. They feel that it's big enough for them to show off themselves. Remember, if she's going to hang it anywhere, it's not going to be downstairs in the lounge for the majority of clients. It's going to be actually up in the bed, in the bedroom. So do I want to sell one 10-inch in a 16-inch frame? No, I don't. I want to be able to sell 2s or 3s and so on with it. So it's interesting the way we put it together. The key thing here, in fact, especially in boudoir, it's basically that middle section that we're seeing. Okay, so the memory box, what I refer to in boudoir is boudoir in a box. Yeah, so there's a slightly a cheaper product, still looks amazing. So as far as the client is concerned, they're still getting great value for money. But again, really what I'm trying to push them up to is the boudoir in the box, these kind of plush finished 20 images in there if they want, compared to the standard box. Jay, I'm sorry, that other box is through there as well. Can you just bring it through for me? Do you mind?
Sorry, mate, which one did you want?
It's the normal 3XM box that we have, our memory box one.
Yeah, okay, mate.
So having the right product. Now the key thing is, I'm sure if you get in touch with 3XM, they'll have some discounts running. So you'll be able to kind of get your samples done without any trouble. I didn't get in touch with them beforehand. Bit of a shame me thinking about it now, but it will be a great way for you to go on to their site. Let me just click onto their site a minute. There we go here. So if you haven't registered already, you can basically go in and actually see the different studio samples that you were able to buy and things really. So I'll just put a link out for you as well. But I'm sure if you get in touch with them, I think they've got a chat panel as well. Thanks, dude.
There's 2 fellas.
That's the one. Thanks, mate. So, there you go, get a free ebook from them. It's just popped up on the screen. But I just sent out the link for you. So that's to do with the studio samples and things, really. As far as what you need to do is guaranteed show it. It's really funny when you actually when I talk about this product. They were so good to us last year within the Xperience group. Basically, what they did, I asked them if there was any way that we could get a free sample of this, what I call the basic product, the memory box, into all of the Xperience studios, and they're like us. They know that once you have this in your hand, once you show it to the client, basically they're going to sell them, and they're going to sell them en masse and things, and that's what they expect you to do. Why they can't give everybody on the planet one is because if you were given this product free of charge, you'd stick it in a cupboard, never get it out, and it never gets sold, and it's cost them a lot of money. So they'll invest into you like all companies will, as long as you're actually going to be pushing it and things really. But having the simple product like this, a classic example, that's what I was leading on to, was one of the Xperience group had their sample arrive. Doesn't come with prints, just comes with the mounts. And on a Saturday night, okay, when I'm having my Chinese takeaway and my odd glass of wine and things really, I get a message on Facebook from him going, "Oh my God, I think I've made a mistake." And I was like, "Oh, what's wrong now?" So I text them back straight away, which is never a good thing at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. And he said, "Oh, I think I've priced the memory box, they call it as well, too cheaply. I priced it at $4.95 as you suggested, and I've sold 5 this week already." I was like, hang on a minute, your average order is only 225 quid. That's why we put in the memory box at a realistic price. And still at 495, I still think that's a good price on the product. And he's getting greedy with it. So it's kind of funny, but he did actually put it up. We put it up to 595, and it didn't affect the sale at all. So it kept on going and going. But again, it's in 1 minute we panic about that we're selling our product too cheap. And then the next minute when it's selling, we get too greedy and we start pushing it up in price and things really. It's always about having that averages. It's the amount of sessions that we need per week based on the average of sales. That's what we divide everything through the whole year, and that's what it's about. So when we start, so the people who've just joined us now, who are basically not seeing me on webcam, the two products I've been showing you are the print box. So this little one with 6x4 glossy prints, and the USB, and that's in that little red box that I was showing to you. And then the other one was the USB by themselves. I basically have the clear acetate, the black lid, but I believe, I'm not sure if it still is, but at one stage I think the heart box within the boudoir world was the biggest selling product. So I would definitely think like a woman and not like a man who basically dresses in black each day because he can't be bothered to actually change into to something else. So when we start to talk about the pricing, though, we've got to really make sure that you make it attractive for the client. I was recently at one of my Xperience group, specifically in Boudoir, and we've got 5 different groups within the Xperience. Once you've been through the first year, we put you into your speciality, and we have the female group, which basically Boudoir, makeovers, another specific product, and business headshots as well and things really. So that's a group by itself. Yeah, it doesn't mean they're female photographers. It just means they're specialising more on the female for the core of their business with it. And I was with them, and kind of I looked at the price list that they had, and they have a 5-star service within Xperience, but in fact they don't believe in their own product and their own prices, and they've basically got 3-star pricing, which is just a real shame. And nobody should be able to tell you what to sell or what to price things at, because they don't know the circumstances that you're in. Never forget that. And I've talked about that quite a lot. What you need to make sure all the time is that when you're putting the prices together, it absolutely depends on what kind of level of business that you're at and what level the business needs to be making sales. It's no good having 5 clients a week and only 3 of them spending money. Okay, we need to actually hire that average specifically and things really. So again, as I said, if you want more information on some of the products, I'm sure if you go over to the 3XM site, they'll be able to give you a little bit more hand anyway. And that's it, Jay. So any questions at all? I mentioned the Xperience group. We're still on our 100 photographers wanted. We're at 85, I believe we are now. We're still 15 short to reach our magic 100 level. And if you're not fully aware about the Xperience group and things really, over the past 3 years, we pretty much now can guarantee that we can generate you 30 grand extra sales in the year, guaranteed. Okay, if you get out of my way, we'll help you generate that without any trouble. Sorry, Jay.
That's okay. I do have some questions for you. A few of them were about the Xperience, but somebody just, I don't know whether you explained it when I was running back and forth with your products, but a couple of people asked the difference between the viewing price and the full price.
Okay, the viewing price and the full price are a discount to make sure they know they're coming to buy on the viewing day itself. And the 2-tier price list we refer to it as. So in other words, the price that they're buying on the day is the actual pricing that you've worked everything else on. The higher price, it's just to defer them from basically leaving it until it's too late. In other words, a client who comes into a viewing room that doesn't buy on that day, as soon as they walk out, they're not going to end up buying as much, I can guarantee you. And remember, everything that we do within the Xperience group and within Mark Cleghorn Photography training is never based on heavy selling at all, okay? That's the key thing. We must ensure to do that, because I want a client for life. I'm not interested in you for 1 year on Xperience. We really don't make any money from you in year one of Xperience. And that is why, at the end of the year, we'll lose one or two from a group of 30. That's not a problem. We'll have still generated the income if they've gotten out my way and they've done what I've asked. That's okay. I've done my bit. But it's in the second year and the third year I really enjoy working with you and the company more, because everything else we've sorted out in year one. We've got you out of financial trouble, if that would be one of the things. We've created a business from start for other people. So I'm putting all those things together. And the key thing is, in the sales room, we need to make sure that everything that we've done in our value chain all fits together. That's absolutely key.
Brilliant, mate. Well, the questions that I do have for you are about Xperience. Obviously, we've mentioned it a few times today. We do these sessions based on sort of our experiences with the Xperience group, so we help businesses generate. So the third, we have the key sort of few questions that we always get asked, but we will ask them again. I'll do it as one. I have no business, is the Xperience for me, and the other one, which we always get, is that I have a business but it's not performing. Well. Can the Xperience help me?
Yeah.
So I've rolled it into one, but you know where I'm getting with it.
Yeah, tick. There's a lot of photographers out there not earning any money. Okay, it's because they're listening to each other. They totally believe people don't want to actually buy photographs. We've proved it absolutely categorically during the course of obviously the Xperience group and other things that I've been doing over the years. If you don't break what I show you what to do, you're absolutely guaranteed to get higher sales, and you're guaranteed to actually get clients buying stuff. It's about putting the product in front of the client, that it doesn't make it cheap, it makes it affordable. There's a big difference in that. So if your business is really in a problem and you can see it, or you won't need it to change direction for another reason, basically the Xperience is absolutely right up your street. I would say if you're a super business already, if you're doing above 350 to 400,000 already, the Xperience is not quite right in its place for you at present. I'm in the middle of designing a super group within the Xperience. So for new kind of studios throughout the UK and Ireland, as a super group, okay, and that you'd need to inquire on that, but that is where you're already at a minimum of 350 to 400,000 pound turnover already. So the Xperience as it is now, it's perfect for businesses who are basically wanting to develop up to about the 350 level, guaranteed it's going to work for you. If you're just getting going, easy for me, because we can just turn on the tap straight away. And again, it's just not all Facebook advertising. There's lots of things that we do along the way. We have great design, great products that it's guaranteed to actually make sure that you're out there creating the right kind of amount of clients that you need and things. But the main thing is to make sure we build the business that you want and not the business that I want you to have.
And just while we talk about it, obviously we did mention that what we're doing this weekend is a prime example of the sort of things that we offer.
Yeah, we're just getting ready here as a part of our training within Xperience. This weekend, we're at a major event, a consumer event, and we'll have training for about 15 of the group at exhibitions. So it's just not everything that you're seeing here. Exhibition training, I don't believe, is even on what you get, but you're welcome to come along to these things. We've got another 2-day sales training event for next year again, because we know how they really make a big difference within the group themselves and things really. So again, it's the little things that others are not doing. They can talk it, they haven't walked it. What I can guarantee you though, there's no such thing as fairy dust. There's no magic. There's key hard work, things to be put in place. Making sure we make the business structurally sound is the absolute thing that I want to make sure for you, because then we can really play around with the business and developing it to its true potential if you so wish. But yeah, there's lots of things going on.
I just have a couple of quick questions that I do want to ask you, but guys, I will take this opportunity that those of you that have stayed online with us and are interested in the Experience group, if it is something that you're considering or interested in, could I just ask you very quickly to pop a yes or a no in the question panel for us so we can gauge there what you're interested in. And of course, if you are interested and you want more information, please don't hesitate to give me a call at the studio this afternoon. I'm available to speak to you. Like I said, Mark and I are off to an exhibition this weekend, but the girls here can get their information to me, and I can give you a call when I'm in the car or whatever it is. So love to speak to you, love to give you all the help and information that you need on that. But yeah, if you could just give me a quick a quick yes if you're interested in the chat box, that'd be brilliant. Mark, when does it start? Has this just come through? So
Okay,
it's a really good question.
it's a good question, and one that we always forget. But it basically can start for you straight away. So in other words, the offer that we've got running at present, we've taken away the £500 joining fee, so you're straight into paying for your 267, your 12 months. So if you pay today, your next payment will be in December. But what we're also doing is that we're allowing you to continue until the end of the December in 2018. So in fact, you're going to get, is it 1 month extra free as well now, Jay?
Technically, they get November and December for free, basically, because we have got stuff going on this month.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But again, as soon as the group is full now, then basically that offer will go away and it will go back ready for Group 5 to be built and so on, which won't launch until March of next year. But it might not even start then until late summer. So as far as Group 4 is concerned, your first meeting with us is in January. And as soon as you join, basically within 48 hours of you joining Xperience working days, you'll have all the access code to all the catch-up stuff. Your welcome pack will be put in the post, all your welcome material, marketing material to generate 30 sessions straight away. Within a month, you'll have your first one-to-one session online with me, and you'll also have your one-to-one session with Jay for social media, maximising social media as well. So we can get your business up and running. Obviously, if you want to defer that first one-to-one, it's not a problem for us, but we like to get you up and running straight away. So theoretically, the group first comes together in January of next year now, but you'll get online with the actual meetings. We got a quick meeting on Tuesday, getting ready for a big event at the end of the month. And then we've also got our first, or I should say, our last group webinar together online in December, where we're beginning to start to look at January, February, and March, and so on. Does that help, Jay?
Absolutely, pal. And as I said, yeah, we've put the link out to the Experience page on the panel. But if you do want to speak to myself or Sarah this afternoon, please just give us a call. Mate, that's it. All the questions are done. Thanks
Brilliant.
for your time today.
So don't forget, if you want to make a difference to your business straight away and get a good offer, then I've got that just that 48-hour offer for you. It finishes tomorrow night. But if you actually book online and you pay the 69 quid, we'll actually send you out the USB. That's within the UK. If it's outside of the UK, then there will be a small postage charge, but they'll be in touch with you. I think it's a £10 charge to actually post outside of the UK. Otherwise, we're including it. That's it, Jay. Thanks again. And remember, I think you've just posted something to do with 3XM as well, have you?
Yeah, just while you were talking about the products, there is, let me just make sure I read it right, they can get 25% off studio samples using, well, yeah, I think that's where I got it from. There you go.
Brilliant.
So, just a reminder. All right.
Brilliant. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Fingers crossed we'll see some of you joining the Xperience group very soon, and look forward to actually really changing your business and putting some real money in your pocket. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.